정말 ngatrele jerim unchu shugi jerim thangbo shidi drup simba cherani jerim ngaba ni mangmuthugi jerim ngaba chidi pheki temde khangi genji tenji topde lane tudung temde ngoje songshe nangyo. Good morning everyone. We have successfully completed the first 4 segments of today's program. We will now proceed further. May I now invite Mr. Tenzin Topden, the director of Tibet Museum, to briefly introduce and provide an overview of today's exhibition.
동화들라 벽이라나 매버 우리 진호 공사 경고심 초라 구숨 구자 모두 페네 다다리데 지제 벽이 점대 관계 두동 점대 운제세고라 집기경 외기 군제서보 반대 시경초 아데 대신 믹스 군제 서르 베실 골기 참모 프란시스 커틀러 다 그랑기 산다 조나단 커틀러 초 안데네 먼저 벤조 중지 지지 중지다 중반 넘버 2 안데네 먼저 유카슈레 슈봉마이 베기 소베기 구잡다 아니 서게바다 레제 용랑에 지제 베기 점대 관습 시제닝 답은에 선지 테스트 슈이 다다리 체동안에 대군데 집기나 여디에 지기 도디 닝디 직신의 삼성 조 로직 할람 공라 니동 니시생아 진다 시베세 집디라 당랑수기 시에라 가숑슬란 단다 서비스 골기 무에제 예 아니 익사망부지 그 딱하슈거든다 총dem 옥션 남기거든 당랑수기 셰도 총수와 안디 중마타도 아니 먼저 런던 기 단다 고섭 된지 공연기를 규칙 한다 서비스 골기 남미라 먼저기 가슈다 저기 표제 단다 익자 기내체의 니티 단다 먼저 직동국 제시주시디 진짜 주베세 줄라 아니 단다 먼저 표기 계섭 따라를 무지 초다 안 단다 먼저 군제 주시 같은 초기 서비스 골라 피베기 저기디 안 가랑수 표기 점대 강라 샨데 나로나는 비기시와 시송 아니 다와직 제라 진짜 나와 나로라 안 코란수 남미라 파수 남미 능기 파수 주도 중체 아니 지게 지금 그 시시 중에기 담상디 당하나수 비미 직주기 고래 용기 섭취제 닝타반이 터진당 신슈이 안데네 진짜 주베기 세 뉴스작솜라 런던나다 반디시경초라 아니 코란수 남미기 이 가쇼다 이 적기네 니디 퓨제 안데네 먼저 전주 규제 nddekhanga chobati chadi do shweni antanda di ikjadi ngranzula phibada ngranzuki nangmi ki tachi khashore rewada jike tachi debacho di ikjadi phiba samme bache di gyuche ta service goal da phegi bargi dewagi anchingasuki tudung dende nai dendechik nang thunas dendechik ngranzu bigi shiwa shisung ngranzu dendekhani bainaya tachi ke 단다버도 정기 말아와 직동 숨겨 타스 지가랑서 다시 중대가 차디요래 진짜 상황 알아주기 따지게 냐사 점에 버치 디 규체 알아주기 따지게 배된 지라치에네 아니 지게 로규 라르치에네 진짜 먼저 기체 된지 쓰이제 그런저기 비기 쉬워 시송 알아주 단다듯이 가시고래 디 익자 kending이디 알아주 로규 랑시데미 익자 책이 유디 안 단다기 먼저 점된디 디기 제보레신 디슈이 안데 내가 먼저기 단다 점된 디기 칠 낭생 동부 니스나라 차디요 안 당부로 진바이나 단다 서비스 골 코랑기 인터넷 주된 집에기 아니 베데 the jewel in the lotus 데네 먼저기 다 가시고래 지게 두가기 리우믹슈라 타임라인 데네 지금 먼저기 다 지게 낭생 당부디 차디요 디더부 진바이나 아니 지게 낭생 실에 이어지셔요 당부로 진바이나 코랑 직동 국제 중이라 아니 지게 군대 쪽숨 시슈베 값수 아니 강실 주빈나고 데레기 먼저 낭세 당부차디요 니워로 지면은 직동 국제 숨주 소르도 섭된라 아니 지게 야하살라 코랑 페이지로 아니 디 군대 쪽시버 친구초기 양시 수십도 데비긴 코랑 디디 야 페비 데레기 먼저 낭세 니버도 차디요 낭세 숨바로 지면은 직동 국제 10주기 아니 진짜 당불라 또 그런 게 가시오래 인지기 구섭 인지기 루가기 구섭 시제와 근데 루가기 구섭기 병고 시제 그러나 회남로라 폐체 아니 근데 우리 집시버 친구 추억이 시팅 가수기 더 지가시오래 제보다 답도 이제 그런 페버 차디도 디더버지 말나다 인지 유럽엔 당부 그런다 서비스보다 그런 냠도 여백이 미나든서다 유럽엔 당부를 차디도 시팅 가수 더 지가시오래 싱에 당부를 차디도 아니 그런 게 탭 나로라 지가시오래 시팅 가수기 유림 제림 로징바이나다 먼저 제보디 니마 게일 하스식 소는 것도 딘조 상화 그런 게 탭디기 시원한 디나올라 기부시부시 나샤 안데네 먼저기 남전 시바로디 직동국제 10주 10시라 안 그런 담아 별의 페이지 조건인바 남투가 데네지기 먼저 남전 시디 안 동부 당복이 예와지요 안 동부 니와로징바이나 당하는 저기 다다 다람살라다 아니 지금 비미 그 비미기 먼저 중국 마인베 속바 시다 냠레기 안 디인바이나 당하는 닝도블린체 응원걸롭다체 아니 군펜체 안데 대신 시럽 가슬 로블린 냠도 먼저 냠레기 안 단다 먼저기 가시오 시팅 가수 갑기 아니 지게 리모딘조 아니 땡디도 튜베기 먼저기 가시오 유세기 남녀마 된투에 띵가서 두분이와 차대요 안 딜라 닝 타번에 안 고섭 상마대 패션 닝 타번에 드시나 쉬이 디더버지 바이나다 먼저 치리표기 점대한기 남샤 윤도 루규디 대베기 지 가시오 차샤서 매어체 아니 가랑족이 단다다 마옹기 미랍라 아니 숨부르네 토에디 먼저 기침부 쉬고 차대요도 데레로기 냠레디 또 미세는 나도 쉬게 이면에 아니 쉬고 많이 소반님도 냠레기 니버디 아니 강톡도 지금 저기 대백이 먼저 가시오래 뒤동 된데 이면에 마음바 이면에 대신 된데 일레샤디 먼저 또 기시 된지 이제 아니 상기 인신디 쉬이 안데네 땅 아랑 저기 뒤동 된데디기 유림 나올라 땅 아랑 예림 반내래 아니 먼저 된데가 일레제 남기 초와 70지 가정 쉬어나 또더 베실 골기 아니 지금 니토네 마트미기 탭 근데 르트스 인더 주얼 레셔바 디 땅안주 페미 슌게 아니 지금 탑스바 이네레 아니 그냥 좀 냠시바 이네레 디주기 강톡도 지디 로트에디 내가 쉬우치 통스로 한 디로지면서 서비스 골기 그런 기 인도네 마트인데 한 페이지 아니 초롱 메어체 아니 그런 기 파일 그리스바디 지마 지신도 켜바 차디도 한 디낭로라 믹세단단 루기마와 이네레 아니 지금 냠시바 망부지기 디 로체 디 로바서 메모체 디 낭기 낭퇴는주 롱체야 낭기 요바데 지금서 야만 부지 지규 청소 안데 디 낭로라 기주시드 가는 나는 별랑 상면이 베기냐 방다 되게 방부지 디나는 지에도 안데 대신 아니 지금 군대 쪽선바도 즉시 초 니가 제체 아니 공익이 탑주든주 아니 지가시오래 낭배기 넘룩도 튀바 되게 간데스는 게 디주야 디 낭로라 세우 쉬우케샤 아니 예비기 쉬엘라 지카쇼 땅아라서 대슌게 망부치 페샤 디 탭디 예바도 로나로 나스는 디슈니 안데네 지카시 인지나 쉬죠지 Honorable Sikyong, respected dignitaries and distinguished guests, and most especially the esteemed granddaughter of Sir Basil Gould, I extend a warm welcome and heartfelt gratitude for your presence here today. It is both privilege and deeply meaningful moment for the Tibet Museum to present this exhibition, Frontier Diplomacy, Britain, Tibet, and Sir Basil Gould. We gathered not only to inaugurate an exhibition, but to reconnect with a significant chapter of Tibetan history, one that reflects diplomacy, resilience, and Tibet's engagement with wider world. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to family of Sir Basil Gould for their generous donation of the two historical important letters to the Tibet Museum. These are not merely archival documents. They are voices from the pivotal moment in history. They carry the weight of political uncertainty, the subtlety of diplomatic exchange, and the aspiration of nation navigating in a complex international landscape. Your act of donation is also an act of trust, ensuring that these materials are preserved, studied, shared with future generations. On behalf of the Tibet Museum and the Tibetan people, I offered our deepest thanks. Sir Basil Gould played a distinctive role during a crucial period of Tibet modern history. As the British political officer in Sikkim, his relation with the Tibet went beyond administrative duty and entered the realms of careful diplomacy. His visit to Tibet included his time in Lhasa, occurred when Tibet was striving to maintain its sovereignty and manage its relation with the powerful neighbors. Through his writing, particularly The Jewel in the Lotus, Gould provides rare and valuable insights into Tibet governance, society, and early life of 14th Dalai Lama. The timeline present in this exhibition draws from these accounts. It reflects not only Gould's observation, but also Tibet's own voice, its dignity, its diplomatic effort, and its determination to remain distinct. As we reflect on this history, we must also acknowledge the profound transformation that followed. The Tibet encountered during Gould's time faced immense challenge in the decade that came after. The event that mid-20th century includes Tibet forced incorporation into People's Republic of China and the exile of His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama in 1959 marks a turning point not only for the Tibet but the world understanding of it. Today, the Tibetan people continue to face cultural, political, and environmental challenges, yet the spirit of Tibet remains strong. In exile under the leadership of His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama, Tibetans have rebuilt their lives with dignity and purpose. Institutions such as Tibet Museum serve as the guardian of memory and truth. Our responsibility is not only to preserve history, but to present it thoughtfully, so that Tibet is understood as a living civilization with a rich past and resilient present. This exhibition is part of that ongoing effort. As we look to the future, the lesson of frontier diplomacy remains relevant. The challenges before Tibet today calls for resilience, but also wisdom. The wisdom to engage constructively, to preserve our culture, and to continue advocating for the truth and justice. In this journey, history remains our guide. Before I conclude, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to family members of Sir Basil Gould for entrusting us with this invaluable letter, and to all the dignitaries and guests for your continued support, to Kungo Yangila and Jordan Quill for facilitating this connection, historian Sring Wangdu Shakya for guiding us, Ganden Tharpa Chuiling Museum for loaning Tsibyen Shakapa Chupa, Jingme Deden Shakapa, grandson of Tsibyen Shakapa, for donating the Shakapa boot, Library of Tibetan Works and Archive for loaning the Jewel in the Lotus, and Tibetan Sentence Book by Sir Basil Gould. The Tibet Fund and the US Aid for financial support. Last but not the least, the dedicated team of the Tibet Museum, whose effort have made this exhibition possible. Let us continue to preserve, to learn, and to share. Let us ensure that the story of Tibet, its diplomacy, and its struggle and its enduring spirit is told with clarity and integrity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. La, for taking us through the current exhibition. Ani zerim chukpa chiti tungchi kongo kama chuing lane zeko tetebe sungshen nangyu. It is my honor to invite Mr. Kama Chuing, Secretary of the Department of Information and International Relations, to deliver his remarks.
Tatering on today, we get him doing Kangi on to do them doing Jushida, Impert Jelam Dan Digi, Sir Basil Gould, calling on to do them those Kodishu and Dimdogi, which is the whole achievement in the Sijon Cho, and it's Chedong on the Shubeki, Sir Basil Gould, Samo, Francis Chota, and Kongi Kunda, Jonathan Nabani, and Tanashi Trin de Zegolia. Chibinambe and the Benjo Tungide, on Chilung Tumbare, and the Sanguebare, and the Junior members of Wata, Mamuch Chibna, Samalia, and Intawan, some legislation. Jedana Ganzuki to do them, the Koliang of the Temdu Gizi, this would be like it to Shipta Namazolia, Shipta Sedimento, Tachungrim, that he demand to shoot up song, and he had numbers to Siwa in and to do them doing Natang and Suchik. Logic Junglim, your Sir Basil Gould, and a Pele, Page in any Pebe, the Kansuri Nazu, Jerab, the Logic, that Chashik, Chashidi, and Kitchenbush Majid, the numbers of Sea Jojo, you doing it, on which you more cherwa. In a tongue, Anzu Kansu, Tanda, Penali, numbers of Machima, Yomar, Anzuki, Chuda, Rishung, Anzuki, Gerab, Loju, that and the Pemiking, over the Samatame time to Zilli and to that engine Almosun, the Petit Nangamunwa. Since ancient times, seems time immemorial that Ganak Chashi in Sag, the next Zamlegin that Poetica Shumeswag to the Neji Kablia, and in Anzutanda Sir Basil called Koran, Ani Inji and the Deji. lunche chaji nan pöliya chibinang tuwe tang tenkashi chibinang duwa da shibringi da luju de shema su de tenkashi chibinang yu da lakba du kundu ki da sitting nga su kabla chibinang jin di kab ki da chungrim di ki di korang ki da inji ke na masu na first hand account di da da deb di na zu jewel in the lotus said na dus ke na jin yore di di da nga zu luju ki na la ya ta first hand account wa luju na da chashi ge chimbu chi da ani di nga zu pödi 아니 갑디도갈이야 랑제 라와랑제 짱마이 비 계급지 오리야 나라 진jon치 되기 때문에 진도가 따띵은 루준나니 아 갑디도기 내가 토니야 루준나기 딱 가서 뒤주 계신 분직다 뒤주다 간다 간주 전문 뛰어트비하기 있다 근데 내가 전부 차디도 갈라 간주 디 고디도 쉬어야 쉬인다 디 중림도 남부도 당기 쉬나 시래 디 간주 점점 게진이 쉬 송요를 봐 지디데다 니부들이 간주 단다 베진 점점 칸딩이 가두이는 단 디바 용야 고갑이 있나데 간주 점점 칸기 게진데 아니 간주 중반 대회에 간주 가두이는 제가 고도 제비 갑은 간주 점점 칸디 아니 점점 칸 신다는 시 메인 비체 신다 준다 지단 루주다 지 최다 리숑디 지부된 간주디 탑주된 제와 유비기 점점 칸 차디거레스 비미 탑주된 제와 유비 점점 칸 인도가는 간주기 디나리아 지 거기엔 점점이나데 아니 두둔 점점이나데 지단 리숑 제기 점점기 간주기 주시 가리이면 디 삼루티 갔다 오는 간주 베베기 짜준된 제와 유비지 간주 가진 삼당 우두 신인데 쇼여 봐 지도다 단대데 딩외랭 간주 두둔 점점 망부지 간주 베베 짜준당 베베 루주당 디주 태간 제와 유바 진짜 차디요래 안 디토리네다 남부주디 마무지니 딱바이도 스카소레 투나나 지진도 집이난게요래 니엘이야 간주직 점점 칸던 제와 유베 토니야 지게 공자나야 딘데 양지게 딘데 가리 유베너와 아 레베니고 공자나야 가리 유베네 디주 간주 가도 있는 땅으로 지신 간주 보기도 주고요 아니 이 두주 마무 쉬 모아지네 한 딘데 삼식이 인수야지기 아니 딘데 단다 얘기다 인지나리아 단다 디슈초와 수준다 드링한게 단다 it is my honor to welcome Honorable Sijong to the inaugural session of this temporary exhibition, and it is also my honor to welcome special invitee Ms. Francis and Mr. Jonathan, who have come all the way from London to be part of this event. So I just want to highlight two particular thing on this particular temporary exhibition: the historical significance and the relevance to Tibet struggle. As I've just spoken in Tibetan, we are facing a very difficult situation because of the Chinese occupation. Now that they are trying to, decimate Tibetan identity, so. Sir Basil Gould's episode of his forays into Tibet and witnessing the enthronement ceremony of His Holiness was a very important part of our history, which proves that Tibet was at that point of time was a de jure and de facto an independent nation, independent country. The historical significance I would like to share with you is the year 1947 stands at the threshold of immense global transformation. As empires recede and new nations emerged, Tibet was actively engaging with the international community to assert its identity and position in a rapidly changing world. Sir Basil Gould, as the British political officer in Sikkim and a key interlocutor between Tibet and British India, occupied a unique place in this relationship. His engagement with Tibetan leadership was not incidental. It reflected a sustained diplomatic exchange rooted in mutual recognition and dialogue. The letters we present today illuminate the relationship with clarity and authenticity. The letter from Tata Rinpoche reflects the official voice of the Tibetan government during the Regency period. It speaks to the governance, diplomacy, and Tibet's engagement with external powers at the time when His Holiness the Dalai Lama was still young. The letter from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, written in the same year, carries a different yet equally powerful significance. It represents continuity of leadership, of vision, and of nation conscious of its place in the world. Together, these letters affirm a simple and a profound truth. Tibet conducted its own foreign relations, communicated directly with international representatives, and engaged diplomatically as a distinct political entity. The relevance to Tibet's struggle today As we reflect on Tibet's ongoing struggle, these documents assume even greater importance. They are not merely historical artifacts, they are evidence of Tibet's political agency, its international interactions, and its voice in global affairs prior to 1950. In contemporary discourse, where narratives are often contested and distorted, such primary documents become anchors of truth. They help us reaffirm our history not as a matter of interpretation but as a matter of record. For Tibetans, especially younger generations born in exile, these letters serve as a bridge to the past that is often denied or obscured. They remind us that our struggle is not only about present, it is about preserving the identity of our integrity of our history. And for the international community, they offer an opportunity to engage with Tibet's history through authentic and documented evidence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gong Kamachingla, for your thoughtful words. Zerim Dimba, Mixe Kunde Kusha Basil Gould Lagi Tamo, Mrs. Frances C. Cutler ne Tidung Dimdun the David Sungshe Nangyu. Next, we are privileged to hear from our distinguished guest, Mrs. Frances C. Cutler, granddaughter of Sir Basil Gould, who will share her reflections.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sekyong. Thank you very, very much for welcoming my husband and myself here today. It's a real honour to be with you all. Chapter 2 of Sir Basil Gould's memoir, The Jewel in the Lotus, entitled Tibet 1912 to 1913, starts, "If anybody had suggested that I was likely ever to see Tibet, I should have laughed. It was all due to half a brick." That same half brick is actually what brings us all together here today. If my grandfather had not stumbled over half a brick behind a tennis court, he might never have gone to Tibet. But the job of British trade agent at Gyantse became vacant. There was nobody else available to fill the post, and the prospect of a few months in the cool of Tibet, compared with the heat and noise of a Calcutta hospital, seemed very attractive. Thus began his long association with Tibet and its people. Indeed, it was during this time that he accompanied the 13th Dalai Lama part of the way back to Tibet from his 2.5 years exile in India. It was also during this spell as British trade agent that Sir Basil was tasked with bringing 4 Tibetan boys to England to provide them with 4 first-class educations at Oxford College, London. The idea to bring the young Tibetan men to England had been discussed by the 13th Dalai Lama when in exile in India with Sir Charles Bell, who was then political officer in Sikkim. These 4 boys became known as the Rugby Boys, as it was at Rugby School that they were educated. The youngest of the boys, Ringang, went on to study engineering at London and Birmingham universities. On his return to Tibet, he was responsible for setting up a hydroelectric plant near Lhasa. He also served as an interpreter for the Kashak and British officials visiting Lhasa. It may well have been his father's association with the Rugby Boys which inspired my own father to invite young Tibetan refugees to spend time in England with our family. Thus it was that I grew up with several Tibetan brothers and sisters. Nima, Chimi, Lobsang, Kesang, Yangchin, and Sering Shakya, the now eminent historian, all lived with us for various amounts of time and were the most delightful, smiley companions. Like all children who know no better, I took this to be completely normal. But in the countryside of southern England in the 1960s and 70s, it was, of course, highly unusual, and it awakened my lifelong interest in Tibet and all things Tibetan. I even, aged 8, did a project at school about how the 14th Dalai Lama was found, using chapter 16 of my grandfather's book as my primary source. I am certain no other 8-year-old in the whole of England in 1967 would even have heard of Tibet or the Dalai Lama. I found the story totally captivating. Little did I know then that 60 years later, my husband and I would be given the incredible honour of being granted an audience with His Holiness yesterday. I find it astounding and deeply moving that Sir Basil was present at His Holiness's installation in Lhasa in 1940. My parents were granted an audience with him in the 1970s and met His Holiness again in Zurich in 2005 and Oxford in 2008. And now we have had the same honour in 2026. One life, 3 generations of my family. Perhaps I should again quote my grandfather's book, where he describes his first audience with the boy Dalai Lama in 1940 at the Nobulinka. I noticed the steadiness of his gaze, the beauty of his hands, and the devotion and love of the abbots who attend him. All seemed to be aware that they were in the presence of a presence. My father, who was born in Shimla in 1922, died in 2014, and Sir Basil's second wife, Lady Cecily Gould, died a few years previously in 2009. She lived in Yarmouth on the Isle of Wight, a very small island off the south coast of England. When the Dalai Lama's mother had to have an eye operation in London in 1960, Holy Mother recuperated on the Isle of Wight with my step-grandmother. I am sure the sea air did her a great deal of good. Both my parents and my step-grandmother and her son visited India several times to retrace some of Sir Basil's steps. And so it was after their deaths that Johnny, my husband, and I felt the need to make our own pilgrimage in 2019. Amongst other places, we visited Shimla and found the little English church in the grounds of the Viceregal Lodge, where 100 years or so previously, Sir Basil and his then wife Lorraine had my father christened. However, it was after my mother's death in 2024 that we had to sift through all my parents' documents and possessions, finding papers and items I had never seen before, relating to Sir Basil's work in the Indian political service. I had grown up with tankas hanging on the walls of our house, and the marvellous watercolours painted by Kanwal Krishna, who accompanied my grandfather in 1939-40 to Lhasa. His paintings of the installation ceremony, the Dalai Lama's family members and attending dignitaries adorned the walls of our house, and his wonderful oil painting of the young Dalai Lama on his throne hung above my parents' fireplace. But now we found so many more items, including the 2 documents at the centre of this exhibition. When we first opened them, we had no idea what they were. In perfect condition, beautifully folded many times, they had lain untouched for over 70 years. It was only when they were examined in London by experts that we had any idea of their importance. Therefore, after being approached by the Tibet office in London, I had the great pleasure of handing them over to Sikyong Penpa Tsering in July last year. It is absolutely wonderful to see them exhibited here, where they should be, demonstrating that in 1947, both the United States and Great Britain considered Tibet to be an independent, sovereign state. I hope these words have demonstrated just how much Tibet and the Tibetan people mean to me and my family. Our present trip to India was inspired by this exhibition. We have tried to retrace some of my grandfather's footsteps from Kolkata to Gangtok, from Delhi to here. We are deeply indebted to all our friends at the Tibet Museum and the Department of Information and International Relations for their wonderful hospitality, enthusiasm, and most especially for organising yesterday's remarkable experience of the audience with His Holiness. We thank you all.
Thank you, Madam, for sharing your valuable insights. And Zerim Geba Kuntu Zo Pimitik Zo Gebande Sigyong Kongo Pemba Tsring Chone Zego da Deve Sungshen Nangyo. And now it is my great honor to invite the Honorable Sigyong Pemba Tsring, chief guest of today's event, to deliver the keynote address.
Samlo Teshle Tatari Pui Demdung Hagi Tudungi Demdung Kajik Kudishunagayare Gundone and Tarinde Lujuda Devetone and Sir Basil Gould Lujuda Tapud and Joy Lujuk Demdung the Kudishunagayare and it Demdung Hangi Ganking it down Regis Hamlolia to Shishin Shui. Demdung Handi could Yobachigo Pingmidwa go Pejuit Hendenchi that was one more shoes down Savary and Pejuit Hendenchi went down Demdung Handi Gune and Pedun Goliata Kodo Khan Tuduchik Yongwayaki Beijing Chashin Alone and it got you Perry Dana Shindelia to Yundune Demdung Yobegi Tola and to Dongi Demdung Kodishia Tenzu and Jushimida Tola Shuche. Any Tarindi that Taward the Kashim Chaguri, Kasan called Luguda Joy Viki, Nezu and that Kond Sumana Shinchin Nani, Tingelia, Kunzu, Jalamanguchik, Zoyak, Tona, Deb Shetting on the Shemba Chongari, and Dine Pa Tenju Gune Shubatan, Penipa, England, Yungegi Pavakachi, and the Tiri Basana, Changa Kachi, Shuche, and Kunzu Naya Che. Tanda Francis Kisumla Shinshin, Tayin the Menalia, and Su Lansung, Tatsu Dendeshu, the cousin, a candidate Mengal Catch Timason, the Jidan Yixetis, she catch Humbly, Korea, Dodanda, which on the door, and the one she would judge in a pendo machine. On the Rishi, Tanga Puna and Tanda Peji, Genjita, Tunjita, and it's Same Song Truth. Doing it, I think Francis, can I call Francis Gould?
You can if you like.
Yes, I'll call him John Gould.
Feel free.
So John and Francis Cutler, thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Not even 1 year since you handed over the document to our Office of Tibet, London, and the Tibet Museum has already decided to have this exhibition, and that's also the reason why you are here. I think this visit would have been very memorable for your family as well, retracing the steps of your grandfather. I would have appreciated if you had gone to Kalimpong also. It was just 2 hours drive from Gangtok. So since you were already there, anyway, next time. So this is a part of British-Tibet historical relationship. It's just a small part from 1912 till Sir Basil Gould served Tibetans. And I think went up to 1948 when the first Tibetan trade delegation went to India, China, United States, and UK. So in fact, they went to United States first. I think they reached Honolulu on 4th of July, 1948. So I remember the date because 4th of July is American Independence Day. But unfortunately, ironically, we lost our country 2 years after that. So that was also the time when the Tibet trade delegation met with Prime Minister Attlee, and Sir Basil Gould was also there. So this is also part of our history. So when I visited London last, we now thought of reaching out to UK more than other European countries, because most of the instruments they use in European Union are on human rights and religious freedom, that don't touch political issues about nationalities and independence and all that. So our relation with British India goes back to 1774. The first Scottish person to come to Tibet, Charles Bogle. Charles Bogle came to Tibet in 1774. So from that time onwards, there have been, of course, quite a number of explorers who have come into Tibet, including Thomas Manning. Supposed to have come to Lhasa, but I didn't see much record of that. Maybe I can ask just sitting later about that. So there have been visitors to it, but not too many from the Western world. We can count the number of people who came to Tibet over the years, over the centuries, from, let us say, 16th century, because the first person who was supposed to have come to Tibet was Friar Oderic of Parthenon, so in Italy. But some records say that he has been only to Monge Khan's court, not to Tibet. And then there was also another Jesuit monk who was supposed to have crossed Tibet, but there were also stories going against his narration, because he has described Tibet as a very, developed civilization with paved roads and all that. So the question is, if Tibet was so developed at that time, then why is it not so now? So those arguments are there. But then, of course, the first known foreigner to have come to Tibet was a Portuguese. Then they also built churches in Tibet, first churches in Tibet in 1626, around that time. Then 17th century we had Italians, then later we had French monks, and then Americans and all that over the years. You mentioned about the Tibetans in 1912, rugby in London. Not many people have seen. But I think the first Tibetan who went to Scotland was in 1901. There is a Scottish lady called Annie Royal Taylor. She was a Scottish nun. She traveled to Tibet in the 1890s. And she was a lady. She traveled by herself. Very risky proposition at that time. So Annie, to prove that the articles that she brought from Tibet were authentic, she took one Tibetan to Scotland to show this is a real Tibetan person, and these artifacts are from Tibet. So I think you can see most of her collections in Glasgow University in the north. So those stories, those connections are also there. Then, of course, the 1904, 03, 04 young husband expedition, and then your grandfather's posting there, His Holiness returning back from India. There were also Britishers involved in negotiating between the Khampas and the Chinese on the eastern border in 1918 also. So there are a lot of historical relations between Tibet and so I was talking with some of the scholars in London to write a book on the historical relationship between Tibet. And we need to remind the new generation of political leaders in United Kingdom about the historical connection between Tibet and British India and UK, so that we can move on to other countries in Europe who doesn't have that much relationship, of course, with France, Alexander David Neil, and all this in the later part of 19th century. So all these stories also help when we go for advocacy work. we start with, British and Tibetans, we have been having relations. So all this helps in building up the communication. And I think we need to change the mindset of the British politicians on the historical facts of Tibet. So this is something we will be doing, and I don't want to repeat what they've already said. Really very thankful for your generous contribution to the Tibet Museum on these documents. After that, there were some more documents that were auctioned, including one document which talked about the 13th Dalai Lama, when the 13th Dalai Lama was to return back to Tibet, and all the Chinese Qing forces were to be removed from Tibet. It was around the same time, when then it was Ladinla who negotiated with to leave the arms and ammunition of the Chinese army with the Nepalese representative, and then send on all the Chinese army through India, not through Eastern Tibet. Now, we could not procure that document, but this is another, not your collection, but it's another collection from another document. It was priced at 7,000 pounds and sold for 37,000 pounds in UK. And we don't have possession of that, but then, of course, now we all know that these documents exist, and these are important historical evidence. Particularly those missionaries and foreigners who have been in Tibet when there were a lot of historical turmoils going on in Tibet, particularly in the early 18th century, those become very valuable evidence for Tibetans to support our case. So, every one of you, about to younger generations of Tibetans, the more you understand about your history, and then you will be much more capable of advocating for Tibet. If you don't know your past, then it's very difficult to talk about the present and the future. Therefore, I urge everybody to read Tibetan history, particularly Sir Basil Gould's book, The Jewel in the Lotus, and also British officers who have served under Sir Basil Gould, like Hugh Richardson, Henry Ford. So there were a lot of people who were witness to Tibetan history during those times, and I think these are very, very valuable things. I myself personally have read a lot of books written by pilgrims, the missionaries in Tibet, and that gives you a totally different dimension and understanding of Tibetan history. So all this, the more you read, the more you try to understand, it'll help you. I'm not a historian, I'm not a researcher, but I'm a history buff, definitely. So I try to read as much as possible and I understand as much as possible. And that also helped me in framing policy for the Central Tibetan Administration. So you should also be doing the same. Thank you. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Kungo, for your inspiring and meaningful address. Zerim Tama Chidi Pegi Demdo Kangi Leje, Tenzi Kezu Lani Tuji Chesung Shenangyu. As we come to the conclusion of today's program, I would like to invite Mr. Tenzin Kejun to deliver the word of thanks.
Tsangmala tsamti tashdile tarin ki kundu zo upemi tikzu ki pande sikyong kungo pemba tsirin chone tudun dremde impe dalam tan teji sar pasir ko unche nawa tha chapchik tu kalum la lamde sabshin keba nawa la chiti phegi demde kangi ge gole yongi chap shude ning phapane tuji chi shudu yes. Honor to thank today's special guest, the granddaughter of Sir Basil Gould, Mrs. Frances C. Cutler, and her husband, Mr. Jonathan C. Cutler, for gracing our ceremony occasion, and particularly for the granddaughter of Sir Basil Gould for taking us through her reflection and the memory of the great Sir Basil Gould. Chidi Tungche Kungo Kamachui Lane, Terinki Tudun Demdun da Dewe Galup Sungshe Nawala Tujichi. Shiwati Chidi Pyogi Demdun Kangi Genzi, Denzi Domde Lane, Impur Delam Tang, Teji Sar Basiko da Dewe Tola Sungshe Naw Tujichi. Tamatela Terinki Unche Zegor Yamshu Nanke Kuto Namba Tang, Shumde Maimbe Tsopa da Gitu Kagi Genzi, the Kutsab Namba. sarkyo banamba sheya thunye cher phepken yongla chiti phege temdeon khangi chap shude ning thapa ne thuji ji shu.
May I now invite Kongo Pembatsring to kindly felicitate our special guest, Mrs. Frances Cutler, along with her husband, Mr. Jonathan Cutler, by presenting them with a memento from the Tibet Museum.
Get it back.